Tommy G inside the Indian reservation where people go missing.
There's a lot of murders that haven't been
Interesting.
solved. A lot of people have been out here and they never find anybody who did it.
Police shooting in the valley. By our count, it is the 28th time this year. We know the FBI is also involved in this case.
28th time in one
Gila
city.
River Indian community land.
Like missing. I mean, it looked like a country ass place, so probably, yeah, I mean, that's a lot of people for that type of area.
For white boys like me, native reservations are hard places to access, and understandably so. Because I understand history, it makes sense why Native Americans can be closed off, resentful, and even downright hostile towards white folks. After all, many tribes have a similar story.
I think
European immigrants landed on their shores, starving and
white
close
folks
to
did a
death,
lot of
and
things
many
to a lot of
natives offered
races.
their help to help these pilgrims survive. In fact, our national holiday of Thanksgiving celebrates this very hospitality. Now, I know I simplified the beginning between the two groups, but what eventually followed were things like enslavement, frequent bloody battles.
It didn't take their holiday Thanksgiving. That's crazy.
Centuries, and small
Took all their food and made a
90%
holiday out of
the
it.
native population. Now, this isn't to say
Nuts.
that the original Americans would have lived in some paradise world if it wasn't for the European settlers. The truth is, many tribes warred with each other, massacred each other, they massacred many settlers, and native warriors had some ugly practices like scalping their enemies. You see, no matter the conflict, things can get ugly when there are battles.
Imagine getting
resources,
scalped. That shit's
personal
crazy. Like,
freedom,
nigga-
and valuable territory. It's just how humans are. But all things considered, Indians got the sharp end of the stick when dealing
Imagine
with
getting scalped
Europeans.
while
They
you're
experienced
alive.
numerous atrocities at the hands of people like Christopher Columbus and Andrew Jackson. But more on this later. We don't have time for me to ramble about history all day, so let's get into the people that we are meeting today. In this episode, we dive into the Gila River Reservation and see
The
what
Gila
life was like
River
for the people
Reservation.
from the Pima and Maricopa tribes. These people have had their fair share of battles ranging from water right disputes with the US government to fighting things in the community like obesity and drug addiction. But they've also triumphed on major levels. They've scored massive infrastructure deals with the government, as well as had fantastic success with their casinos. Enough of the talk for now, let's get into the episode.
Alright, fire intro. We locked in. I'm locked in today.
In the first part of this journey, we are welcomed into the home of Grandma Sandra, a town staple
It's Grandma
who cooks
Sandra,
for us
man.
and
Shout out
tells
to
us
Grandma
about the culture
Sandra.
and
What did
community.
she? What is that? What's on her plate? That pita bread with like gravy? What is that? That look like some What is that? Some type of beef or something, bro. I don't know.
Here we go.
Look like throw up, low key. It's probably busting.
What land are we on right now?
We're on the Gila River.
Can you tell me any of the history of this place?
The Pima is called Akamil Atham. That's the name of our people. And
Akamil
we've been here
Atham.
from the very beginning. In fact, our land is in Phoenix. The whole area.
Look at the player build, but you know she can cook. She got that. You know what I'm saying? That little fat on the
We're
elbow,
related
you
to the
know.
Hohokam tribe. The white folks
that little
came,
fat
all
side.
the tribes got put on reservations. And this is our reservation that we have now.
I'm gonna give everyone their first reading assignment so far on the channel.
But yeah,
There's a book
she
called
got that
Bury My
cooking
Heart
arm,
at Wounded
that cooking
Knee
arm.
Everyone should read. Imagine for a moment that
I think
the
I've
Chinese
seen the book before. I might have seen it before, like, in the store.
Everyone should read. Imagine
Okay.
for a moment that the Chinese began taking over America, and that the way they made peace with us was by forcing us to sign treaties that removed us from the wonderful land we grew up on and forced us to
Yep,
move
that's
to
what
the
they did.
shittiest areas they could find. Places where crops can barely grow and the resources are slim.
literally what
And
they
on
did.
top of that, the minor concessions they did offer to us in the treaties, shortly after, they would break their word and go back on their promise. Let's take the Sioux people in Nebraska, for example. Once the US government found out that the land that they stayed on had valuable gold mines, they again pushed them to a new and even shittier parcel of land. This is what tribes across
Like,
the country
anytime you got something
experienced in their
valuable,
dealings
you
with the
get-
US government over the mid-1800s. To
Man, they were
best
fighting back,
understand the
though.
treachery of this period, I recommend you read the book Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee. I read this book
I mean,
in
they probably
college,
did
and
try,
what I learned
but,
has
you
stuck
know, they
with me
probably-
ever since. This
The
book
Europeans
is linked
is
in
too
my
advanced at
description.
that time. They had
We
muskets,
get
but they had
free
swords.
health-
It was over
well,
with.
in this state, I lived in Virginia, and they don't have it there, and they might now.
They had
but
spears
my
and
family
stones
has
and
land
rocks. They
here.
had-
If we cause any problems, we could get kicked off.
Mortar
our
bombs
reservation.
and
The
shit.
casinos brought in a lot of money for us.
How does that work? Does every person that lives here have a share in the casino? Because I've been in Seminole country where I think it's over 18, all of the kids get a certain monthly sum from the casino.
Yes, ours is every 3 months, and when they turn 18, they'll get their money.
Are there there any benefits or
Yeah,
perks
what?
living in the tribe?
Like anybody
you
that
think
live
health
that's in the
care?
tribe?
Well, this tribe here helps you pay your electricity. We don't pay water bill. We don't pay rent. We don't get taxed for our land.
Let's talk about free housing in this area. From what I understand, when a tribal member comes of age, they will be built a house free of charge, and the size of the house will depend on how big their family is. Additionally, upon turning 18, this person will also receive a lump sum of between $50,000 and $100,000 to kickstart their adult life. And for
Really?
supplemental income for everyone on the Gila River Reservation, children and adults, they each receive a quarterly stipend ranging from $350 to $650. Now, this
Wow.
country has had a long-standing debate if these practices help or hurt.
Hey, they really going
You
nuts.
guys
What
tell
the
me
hell?
what you think in the
Why can't
comments.
everybody get
We're
that?
having our Thanksgiving dinner.
I thought, hey, shout out to them for getting their bread, but you know, I think I should get. I need some of that. What they
right
talking
now
about?
too.
$100,000 for when you turn 18?
You know, I
What?
grew up in foster care, and I never knew none of my family until I turned 25.
A
When
free
I
house?
turned 25,
No
I
rent?
came to look for my family. I found
basically
my
already
mom
said
and
for
my
real, for real.
dad. My mother's from here, the tribe, and my dad's from the Tono Awesome tribe. And when I
That's fire,
found
though. Shout out to them.
about that, I was so happy, and both tribes accepted me without no doubt. I never grew up here, but I've been living here now for over like 40 years, 45 years. I did get to meet my mom, but I never got to meet my father. You could only pick one tribe to be enrolled in, and I picked my father's side because I never got to meet him, and I wanted something from him, and so I picked that tribe. But I've always lived on this tribe, in the Pima tribe.
Something extra was telling
she's in
us
the other
the
tribe,
that
but
I
she
wanted
live
to
in
ask you
Pima.
about is that there's
So did she get Pima benefits? Did she get that free? Did she get that free 100K? Did she get that free house? Cause that's lucky. She got a loophole. She got a loophole in the system. She got a
kind of
loophole.
myth or rumors of
She's
spirits
finessing.
in the mountains or portals. Have you ever heard anything like that?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of anyone going missing or like talking to the mountain spirits and think bad things happen?
One of my uncles, he does go up there a lot, and he says he always sees stuff, different things, like he gets the clay from
that
the
shit not
mountain,
real.
and he makes it on.
The symbol of the guy with the flute, that is the fertility god, isn't
Yes.
it? It worked for me, folks. Within 1 week of trying with my wife, we got pregnant. How would you describe this place to someone that's never been here before?
They still go by the old
Really?
ways.
Fertility
Some
god?
people still cook with wood, but now they're building
said within
houses
1
for
week,
the people
bro.
out here.
Is that a god or is that just you just leaving your nuts hanging out? Like what? Talking about the like what? Unless he was trying for dumb long before that, and then they put it in there, and then I give it to him.
From the casino, you know.
The casino money flows through.
Yeah.
How do you feel
You
about
letting the
our
nuts, you
government?
leaving the nuts hanging,
They're
Tommy.
kinda crooked,
Come on now, bro.
They take a
You
lot
know
of
what's
money
that's
from
what's
us.
supposed to happen. at
Casinos
least.
built on our land, we built it, but they still tax us. You know, a lot of people out here, they're either on drugs or drinking, you know, because they don't have no kind of income, nowhere to go.
What percent of people you think have a drug issue around here?
80% maybe.
That's high.
80?
Is there a good
Yeah, that is high,
hospital
yeah.
or is there a good amount of medical staff in the area that help with people?
Yeah, they got a drug rehab out here, but you know, very few people go through it.
On the 24th, I have 24
What type of drugs? They talking about weed. They talking about that crack. They talking about that fatty. What they talking about? What they talking about? Because you know it's different
years
levels
of
where it
sobriety.
be. You know,
For
you feel
about
me?
18 years, I did
If they're
the
doing that
AA
that nutty
group
stuff?
here in our district. That's why I never grew up here on the reservation, because
need
my
help.
mom and my dad were both alcoholics and they couldn't take care of me. And so I grew up in foster care. It's
Damn.
been awful.
Why is it you think that alcohol has such a strong pull here?
People can't figure out how to be happy.
Yeah, bro. That probably is the thing though. Like being out there, bro. That's probably so boring. Like yeah, you get all that stuff and all that money, but what do you do with it? Cause you're in the middle of nowhere. Like you got 100K, yeah. You got a house, yeah. But like I know they get tired of that community after a minute. Like,
Being
they'd be
clean
want to
and
leave.
sober, and we're all related. If we look at it that way, we'll all get along.
Like, it's probably fun as a kid, but once you get older, you probably like, bro, this shit is trash.
About how long do you go on each side?
Really fast, a minute, not even a minute. As soon as this grease is hot, it gets it cooked fast.
Kind of like a thick tortilla almost.
Yeah, so
Okay,
this is
this
my
the food they
dough.
was eating earlier.
This is the flour most natives use, the bluebird. I'm trying to teach my family, my girls, or anybody who wants to, know how to do it so they can carry it on.
People be shooting, people be trying to break into the shit.
So there's a lot of banners around here?
Oh hell yeah. This is part of the security right here.
Oh look, someone discarded a toilet right there. If I had to shit and I came across that, I'd be disappointed. People go up there. People climb all the way up there?
Have you been up there?
No, I haven't been up there.
I'm kind
They climbing on top of the water pump. Like, yeah, they. But I tell you, bro, they out there bored as shit. Like, why are you climbing a water
People
pump?
climb all the way up
Being
there?
weird.
Have you been up there?
Are you talking about that little? Are you talking about that
I'm
little
kinda
electricity
scared.
pole?
Yeah, I'm scared of heights.
Either way, bro, you being weird.
Shapeshifter.
Basically, it's an old human spirit or something?
Yeah, this used to be her little outhouse. I mean, this is where they used to
The
sell fried
shapeshifter.
bread.
What happened?
Shit, just time, people getting locked up. She didn't really have much people to help her, so this is what's left of it now. I hear the dust storm comes, it just comes right over that mountain, f***s everything up.
How often does a dust storm come?
It can come whenever.
Is there usually like one good dust storm a year?
Yeah, it's a couple.
That's the red chili.
And pulled pork?
That's
No,
the
this
one.
is beef.
This is over 100 years old.
Yes.
How long do
You
you think
can't
this
walk
took to
outside
make?
and dust storm. You
Probably a
fucking
long
die.
time.
Days?
Yeah.
Suffocate.
These are also over 100
They're
years old.
old. They're old too.
There's something special about handmade.
Okay, here's your sandwiches. The Navajo taco, all the tribes make that. And
Navajo
it's just beans,
taco.
hamburger, cheese,
Oh, so that's what that was. Yeah, it looked like I knew it looked like some type
lettuce,
of beef.
tomatoes, and that's a.
Really good. Thank you. This is gonna be such a
it
gringo
do look
question,
busty.
but
My
I don't
stomach-
eat the husk.
My
right?
stomach started
No,
moving.
you can if you want.
I didn't mean to embarrass
It's because of
myself.
that bread looking dumb crispy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good. Well, Grandma Sandra, you filled our
Okay.
bellies. We appreciate you for
Thank
that.
The circles.
They blocked off the playground? Why do they do that?
Cause there'd be a lot of kids, these motherfuckers go hang out right there and then they'd just be crazy.
Are these abandos? Are people
Bro,
living in
what?
them?
So this is the dude that's taking them to the dark side of the area. So the grandma showed a good side.
Do you think
Yeah,
anyone's living in there?
he trolling.
Probably.
So are there gang affiliations around here?
Yeah, it's by zones. I think this is zone 6. People around here be like, man, I couldn't find no pills, so I started smoking meth. They're like, what the fuck?
Has Fetty Wap made its way over here?
Oh yeah.
We're in the circles, which is called the projects. This is mostly where everybody lives, I guess. Back in the day, there was a lot of gangs out here. There's still gangs out here now.
Alright, so
Back
the
in
old head
day, it
being
was
the old
pretty
head keeping it
crazy.
100
You
too.
grew up around here?
Yeah, I grew up.
It was just that
over
grandma
there.
trying
There
to
was
always
just
take
a
good
lot of
stuff.
shootings, a lot of people dying from shootings. You know,
Damn.
the airbag was out here a lot. There's still gangs out here now, but they're a lot
Gangs be out here
younger,
hiding because it's
What's
in the middle of nowhere.
relationship with police around here?
They don't really do
That's
good
lucky a
job
comfy
around
spot.
here. There's a lot of murders that haven't been solved. A lot of people have been out here and they never find anybody who did it.
Is this a place where people feel comfortable to call the police when something goes down?
Not so much, I guess. It's a small
How long do it take
community, so
the
people
police
know,
to get out there? Like
and they'll know if
50 minutes?
call the police on them.
Is there anything you can tell the people about the circles?
Don't come through here at night. If you don't know nobody, it's really dark around here. Yeah, there's a police station right there. That's the only cops and the rest.
They only got 3 cars. That's probably like 4 cops.
This has been here for ages. This
4 or
was
5
an
cops
old
probably.
boarding school.
Rotating
Back
that
in
those
the
3
day,
cars.
My mom was in a boarding school here. She was small all the way to 13 when she came out of the boarding school. She don't really talk about it. I asked her. She just gets quiet. So, and they did a lot of, you know, the molesting and all that. Some kids died, you know, in their hands.
Hey, this area got
Crazy
trauma,
how
bro.
much
Hella trauma.
molestation the Catholic Church has gotten away with.
Yeah.
We have got to talk about Indian boarding schools. These places were awful. In 1819, the Civilization Fund Act was passed with the intent to civilize natives and assimilate them to Anglo-Saxon culture. The stated purpose of this act was to kill the Indian and save the man. And in
What?
doing so, a few hundred schools were created and ran by the Catholics and other Christian denominations. Hundreds of thousands of kids were forcibly removed from their home, and in the loving name of Jesus, these Christian schools doled out beatings, forced labor, sexual abuse, and a complete crushing of native culture to these kids. With rulers, whips, and sticks as their tools of choice, nuns relentlessly played whack-a-mole on their native students.
Bro,
and
what
if
the
hell
hell?
exists, these nuns are certainly there, and I hope Satan is playing whack-a-mole on them. And if this imagery
Why have
isn't
I
enough
never
to
heard of this?
infuriate you, imagine if the Taliban took over your town, took you from your parents, and beat the dog shit out of you at their schools until you converted to their version of Islam. That would be insane, and that's what this was like. And folks, I'm
Jesus.
proud to be an American, 100%, but it's undeniable that we have some despicably ugly chapters of our past, and the best way to
Very,
avoid making
bro.
similar
God
mistakes
damn.
in the future is to study and learn from history.
What does religion mean to
That shit
you?
is nuts. I
Just
never
going to
heard of
church,
that. That's
you know,
crazy.
going by the Bible, doing good. My mom will bring us out here on the weekends and during the summer. So like, I went to church in Phoenix a lot. I didn't really come to church out here. Just when I got older, I came to church out here.
I noticed you're wearing the Blackhawk hockey team.
Yeah,
What do you think when a professional sports team has a Native American as their logo?
I don't really have a problem with it, but a lot of natives do.
Could you imagine if they made a football team called the Whiteskins?
The white skins. Why she let down and laugh and lick her lips? Sorry. I ain't gonna get on her. I ain't gonna get
That's
on
the
her.
man in the maze. That's our the Pima's symbol.
That's a good symbol for life.
Yeah.
'Cause I think we all feel pretty lost throughout life.
Yeah.
Sometimes you feel like you know what you're going, but for the most part, it's like, where the hell am I, right? So Grandma's taking us in the mountains right now. She wants to show us some things.
Stolen cars from town come out here and dump stuff over here.
What?
There's been a lot of bodies found, not
Wow.
here, but over
Also,
in
grandma
another
keeping it
section
100
of
too.
the res.
This was now the third person that had mentioned something about people going missing and bodies being discovered at the reservation. In fact, a Google search will tell you that another body was found on the Gila River Reservation
Sheesh.
as recently as January of
That shit, it said decomposing. That shit been out there for a minute.
this year. And if you take a closer look at this trend, you'll discover that bodies have been discovered on reservations in Montana, Wisconsin, New Jersey, all in the early months of 2024. I even got a DM in January about this happening on a reservation.
Many years. Crisis. Missing murdered indigenous women. Recently, a hotel exposed for human trafficking. Wow.
In Winnipeg, Canada. It's worrisome how many women on reservations go missing or end up murdered. A study
There's
from
so much messed
2008
up stuff
showed that
going
Native
on,
women get
like,
murdered
as we
at a rate
speak.
that's 10 times
Like,
higher than what's usual across the
It's-
country.
that's
What's
crazy to
more,
think
most
about.
of these cases don't even make it.
Like,
into
really,
the
as I'm
record
sitting
of
down
deaths
right
as
here,
missing person lists.
chilling
And
in-
get this,
in a
murder
crib,
is the
watching
third
this
most
video.
common
There's
way that
something,
Native
like,
women
nuts
die,
going on.
even more so than strokes, liver problems, or diabetes. So it begs the question, why is this happening? And from what I can gather, there are two main factors. Number one, local law enforcement does not have jurisdiction to police a Native reservation. Instead, the reservation has its own police force regulated by the Bureau of Indian Affairs. For some killers, reservations are opportunistic places where they feel they have a better chance of getting away with their crimes. Combine that with the fact that natives overall tend to not want to talk or cooperate with police, and you find yourself in an environment where murders are really hard to solve.
Myself, I used to come up here, drive all the way up there. There's a road you can take, but it's been a long time. And I had a four-wheel drive truck, and I used to go up there and party up there,
Yeah?
drinking and get high and all that.
Yeah. How far is it off-road?
Far. It goes all the way to Mexico. This is the back road they used to go deliver drugs.
Really?
Back in, yeah.
Man, she exposing the whole city.
A crazy adventure. Body, stolen car, trafficking to Mexico.
This is where they. This is the back road they used to smuggle drugs. She's not capping either. She dead ass.
How is she doing this? Oh no, no, Grandma.
She got stuck.
This is a bad idea. Yeah. Oh my God. Jesus. Sorry to say I'm not as tough as you are. I got a little scared when you were hitting those trails. I thought I was gonna get stuck. So I want to hear more about the bodies because you just casually said that, and I feel like I want to touch on that a little bit more.
A lot of people come from Phoenix, and because we're so far out here, and there's
They
nothing
did to say
over
that
here,
casual
I
as
mean,
hell.
you know,
Like, that's just
so
it.
they-
I guess it
people
is
come and
really
dump
is something regular
bodies
for them.
here.
You can tell
What
that
the
this is
hell?
a drinking town. Look at this. This is 30, 40 feet off the road, and still, like, it just shines. The road is shining
Why you
Yeah, this
picking
is
up glass,
definitely
Tommy, bro? The hell?
a drink in town.
Next, we make a stop at Big Mike's house. He's
Tripping,
a religious
bro.
leader. He has a sweat lodge set up in his own backyard. He hears stories for days. Let's knock on his door and see what he has to say.
This is Big Mike's house.
Big Mike.
We're heading towards his sweat lodge. He's helped me
Sweat
a lot.
lodge?
We fought against the Interstate
What is that?
202 now.
And why didn't people want it here?
And we like natural. All natives like that. It's not on our land. It's on the other side. But it might as well be. It's right there. Right on the border of our tribe. They even cut the mountain. That was our sacred mountain where we go and pray and stuff.
I read that
Yeah.
50% of people around here have diabetes. Is that something that you're familiar with? Or that?
Yes, it's real bad here. We weren't allowed to do our traditional ways. We had to learn to be like them.
Is there still a long-standing resentment towards Europeans
So what does that
and white
mean?
culture?
They took it into American culture and got obese and fat and started getting extra large drinks, extra large fries. Instead of, like
Sure.
rice and beans.
Yeah,
I don't know what Native Americans
the
eat.
people
Right?
that
Don't say
had
that.
to live through it.
I just said rice
I
and
think
beans.
it's more
Everybody eat.
horrible than people can imagine. I don't think
is.
people know history that well, but if people do their digging and they research how awful it was,
How America was, we weren't free to roam like we should have been. It was been taken.
School Kudunyuk.
Yeah.
Good evening. Munchugim.
Good old Europeans taking everything.
Chugim. With Michael.
Sad,
Good
ain't
evening.
it?
My name is Michael Tashquint. My traditional last name is from my great-grandfather, Tashquint. I'm here in the village of Komot,
What his shirt
southwest.
say?
It's what they call the Australian
I just wanna
Mountains.
see what the shirt
But
say.
to us, we
Should I try to read this? What that say? Gooi he Gooi he Haimik oi itit Veim Haschu ka. And then they say Kadik Mata Kadik. Alright, gathering, yeah.
call it Komot Doak. Komot Doak means thick mountain.
you got 28 years sobriety.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What made you start that journey?
93, I lost my brother up the road here. He got hit. We were going up to go get some more beer and everything like that. We're coming back and we were just coming up the road here. Just on the other side there, those houses on that side began. This people hit a horse. The woman, you could see where she hit the
Hit a
windshield.
horse?
Her
Is
face is
crazy.
all bloody. As we were going by, the door on the driver's side was open and there was a guy laying on. So I told my cousin, pull up behind him. They pulled up behind. My brother already jumped out. He ran over there. Just when I got out, I heard my brother go to the other side and he was checking on the woman. And I heard my cousin yelling out, "Chris, look out, there's a car coming, there's a car coming." And then next thing I know, my brother was standing with the door here and he was waving his hands like this. Well, they missed the car, but they hit him right there. And it just
Damn.
went over him and everything like that.
So it was like he was like running at him waving, and then he got
Got out of the back seat of the car.
He was trying to
turned,
stop-
I
he was
looked,
trying to
and I
help
seen
him.
Get hit his head and brains, blood, and everything like that. And I was over him like this. I was laying on top of him like this, and I kept telling him, don't leave me. Don't leave me. I need you. You're the one that's holding my leash. My brother was the guy
Damn.
more or less controlled me. If I was gonna kick
This is
somebody's
traumatic,
ass,
that
he would
fucking
say,
video,
"Go kick their
Jesus."
ass." And I say, really? And I go over there and kick their ass. I ended up getting deep into drugs. I didn't give a shit about anyone. The final point came was that one night, I guess we were sitting there drinking and everything like that. And I was sitting there rolling up joints, sprinkling with coke. Like that, rolling them up, getting ready to smoke. And after that, I got sick.
Said sprinkle it with coke.
And that's what kind of snapped
I think he said that like that's some regular shit. Like what? Who does that? You roll the blunt and you putting coke in it.
me out.
Nah, you
Whatever happened
nigga
to me.
twacking, bro.
My dad, my brother came.
He
I
OG
wasn't
for
going
real.
in. I mean, you know how the lights are on top of this? And I remember
This probably
looking
was
up,
like the
my dad
70s
watching like
shit.
that, and I just seen him going.
Crack era.
That's, I was out. And I just woke up and I said, what the hell? And then the nurse came around and she goes, oh, you're awake. You're back. I said, what? And then she goes, what day is this? I said, Wednesday evening. And she looked at me. She goes, no. She goes, this is Saturday evening. You've been out for the past 3 days. Your family's about ready to bring in the priest to give you last rites because you weren't going to make it. I said, what? She goes, yeah, we're about ready to die. I remember I started walking and I was going in something like gray. It was just all gray. And all of a sudden out of this side, I seen this black figure come out like that, And I heard my brother start laughing. He goes, what are you doing here? You don't belong here. It's not your time. The other side, I seen another figure on this side. My dad, I heard his voice. This is not your time, he said. You need to go back. Come on, we'll take you back. And as they were coming back, they started telling me about sobering up, changing my life, doing the things I needed to do.
Damn.
Woke up and that's when I woke up in the hospital. And so after that, that's when I decided I got to...
It was an eternal genjutsu.
And
Jesus
that's when I
Christ.
found out I had PTSD.
It feels like this world is losing its soul.
That nigga was
losing
in
its culture.
I know. Full Metal. Whenever Elric was trying to save Alfonso, I forgot what they called that
A little
realm.
bit. Can you speak to that from
The
your
joke didn't
I
hit.
can understand that, and
But
I know what you're talking about because
he was
our
in
young
another realm,
kids,
bro.
they're
You get
not
what I'm
picking
trying
it
to
up.
say.
They don't know too much about the history and the culture of our people, especially grandparents that went to boarding school. In the boarding schools, they
Nah, that
were
story is
stripped
crazy.
of their identity, their hair was cut, they were forbidden to speak the language. A lot of elders are embarrassed or ashamed to speak the language to their children and tell them the stories and all of that.
Yeah,
Growing
these
up
schools
here,
that they
my
have is
family
like,
made me
what?
understand who I am. They made me speak English first, but I asked them, why'd you teach me English first? They said, because if you learn Pima, it would be hard for you to learn English. And from there, my grandparents and family helped, raise me and teach me my traditions. So trying to keep that up to the kids now. A lot of kids, they just don't know.
white man society? What comes to mind when you think of that phrase?
The coming of the Europeans, from the Spanish coming through the islands, Puerto Rico, Cuba, from there establishing their ports and everything like that, and then from there coming across to Mexico, South America, enslaving the indigenous people, all for gold, silver, and land, and everything else like that. Then again, too, the Europeans, the French, the English, the Dutch, they say were the only people that kind of took care of the native peoples. But when you look into the history of the English, Spanish, and the French, they stole, they conquered, they lied, they paid for the bounties of scalps. All of them, Spanish, French, English, women, children, elders.
They paid for them?
Border. They talk about all the people that are from Mexico and on that way. Those are indigenous people. Even the Mexicans. That's not the right word for Mexico. It's Mexica. That's the thing about the white man's society. The Europeans coming here and just trying to make us and totally assimilate us.
What are some spiritual beliefs of this land?
When the son married, he brought his wife home. If the sister married, she married out of the family.
What are the biggest challenges facing this community?
We're doing good. I can't really say anything wrong or anything bad. Through the casino revenues, the tribe is taken care of. There's money through the gaming compact that goes to
bro. At the end of the day, bro, they do have an opportunity, bro. You get 100K, you get a house. You can do something with that at least, like, bro. I'm pretty sure once you get that 100K, you probably can leave. That's probably what most of them do, but like, dude, that's a very good head start, bro. That's what I'm saying. That's a very good headlight. So.
That money helps take care of you,
What kind of benefits do tribe members receive from the casino?
Nothing really from the casino. The only thing you get is just the per cap that we get every month. I mean, every 4 months, every quarterly. But like I was saying,
you get like that. Everybody, or does it change by age?
600 or 700,
no,
whatever they get.
It's the same. It's set at one set amount, but it's different. Each quarterly is different, depending on what these casinos make. My first house, my mom and dad built themselves. Second house, the Bureau of Indian Affairs built that for me. Then this one is the tribe built this for me. Wow. And again, it's in the gaming compact that homes are supposed to be provided for all enrolled tribal members.
Final thoughts you have, or anything you would like to say to the audience out there?
I just turned 70. I go to the gym all the time. I wanted to do with my wife to go in there and put it on our Facebook. Here I am, my birthday, 70 years old.
I wonder what he doing in the gym, bro.
Come on in and come work out with me. Diabetes is a very, very high thing here on my reservation.
From what I saw with the numbers, it's over half.
Yeah. At one time, I was like close to 800 pounds. Right now, I'm probably bouncing between 320 and 290 maybe. Since you're finishing up.
800 pounds, bro? You just imagine what 800 pounds really look like, bro. I'm in my chair, bro. This should probably be broken. There would be no chair here.
You ready to go home? This is called the
chair will be gone.
Hey,
800 pounds.
And with that, folks, thank you for joining us on this adventure. We'll see you next week.
Is that what was on his shirt? Alright, I'm tripping, bro. Alright, bro. I'll see y'all later, bro. Peace. I'm out of here. I thought he said what was on his shirt. He was just singing.